Hi. Hi, guys. I'm looking like a hot mess. It's Sunday morning, and normally I don't Periscope on the weekend, but there are people who have home parties today, and so I wanted to make sure we got this out. I wanted to make sure I got this out. Good morning. Good morning. I look like a wreck. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Yay. Okay. So like I said, I don't usually do Periscope on the weekend, but this had to be said. Like this had to be said, right? So hi, happy Sunday. For those who are not on my team, I did a home party last night, okay? And I actually haven't, this was only my second ever home party that had a hostess, right? My second ever home party that had a hostess that was not me. I've done home parties in my own home like twice. That's all right. Catch the replay. Go enjoy your family. So I haven't done a lot of these, but I've known that there's something here, right? And so I want to do them more, right? This is one of my goals, is to do more and more of these home parties, because there's something to be said for getting to see people face to face, getting to talk to them getting to touch and feel product and all that sort of stuff. So I've been trying to branch out and do these more. Home parties are a really big opportunity for that. Sorry guys, my eyes are bothering me. They're a really big opportunity for that. So here's the rundown on home parties first and foremost before we get to the collection part. Oh, my eyes, guys. Yeah, I don't know who you are, so no. Here's the rundown on home parties. You do not have to have, so a lot of people were like, oh, you're set up. You have so much makeup. Guys, I've been doing this for like maybe not well over a year, but over a year now. So that collection is a long time coming. I spend a little bit of money each month building up my supply, buying products that I don't have. Oh, look at you. Oh, thank you for translating. What was I going to say? Oh, so you know, guys, creepers on the Periscope on Sunday morning. That's ridiculous. I die. Okay. So that whole setup of all that makeup has been really a long time coming. I spend a little bit on product every single month. One thing I love about our company is that we are not required to buy the product. We're not required to keep a lot of inventory. There's not like a minimum. It's not like, oh my gosh, you have to do this. Okay. So I would never want to go to my team or to anybody and say, oh, but you really need to be buying all the products. But here's a couple things. One, you need to be wearing all the products. How can you sell something if you're not using it yourself? You're not going to sell it very well. Number one. Number two, if you have an interest in doing home parties, and not everybody has an interest in doing home parties. If you have an interest in doing home parties, you're going to want to build up your stock. You can have a successful home party without a ton of product. You absolutely can have a successful party without a ton of product. But the more you have, the better it's going to be. Okay. So even if it's just a little at a time, and this is, by the way, why you build up your Y cash. So, ways that you can get your hands on the product. So one, this could be, you're qualifying sales every month, right? If you want to qualify every month with 125, this is a great way to every month, 125 on whatever. Again, not required. Please hear my words. This is not required. This is just an idea. If you don't have the funds to do that, this is why we always recommend having a party open in your name. So you have your party hostesses, but you also should always have a link open that you're hosting. And that's the link that you give to people, right? And then you can buy product, yes, with your Y cash. You can buy your stock with your Y cash as you're building up your Y cash, all right? So these are ways for you to save money and still get more of our product. If you hit fast start, if you're new, you have a golden opportunity, because when you hit fast start, you get $250 in Y cash. What a better way to build up your product, little arsenal here of product. Okay. So fast start is a goal. Get fast start so you can get your hands on product. I actually don't keep it separate and apart from my own personal makeup. When I'll tell you what I do when I'm there. It all goes together in a big thing. I don't use all of that makeup because I don't use all those shades, right? But I have it all. But I also usually have my own personal makeup there, and I have a disclaimer. I say some of this is from my own personal, whatever, which is why I ask that when you're sampling makeup, you specifically use these testers. You don't put it, and I help them with it as they go along. So it's all mixed in together. Some things, like I have two of a couple things, so that one is obviously mascara. I don't let anybody sample mascara ever, because it's just not going to work, but I demo the mascara. I'll get to that in a second. So product. If you're new and you don't have a large product selection, you can still have a home party. I'm going to talk about some alternatives that you can do if you don't have a whole big selection of makeup yet. But by and large, what I did last night, I did with pretty much our entire product line. I don't have all this, like the only thing that I have pretty much all the shades of, except for 2, is the powder. And I did the powder. That's smart. That's a super smart thing. Double liners, glosses, and stains. I got disposable lip gloss little things so they could dip it in there and use them. That was something I did. Okay, so let's talk about what I did last night. Yesterday, I spent all day preparing for this. I checked my stock. I checked what I had. I was like, all right, what can I do? And then I was like, all right, I need order forms. Well, I went and I looked at the order forms that we have available, and they're great, and they list everything, but they're very cumbersome. There's a lot of words. They're a little overwhelming. It's hard to find things. And so I was messaging with 2 of my friends on Facebook about Scandal, about nothing having to do with makeup. And these are 2 girls who've ordered from me before. And one of them is somebody that I really would like to join my team. And she's like thinking about it, and she's gone back and forth, and she still hasn't joined. And so we're messaging about Scandal, and I'm working on this. And I was like, hey, I need y'all's opinion on something. So just go, I was like, it has nothing to do with Scandal. And they're like, oh, we love giving our opinions. What is it? I said, okay, so I have this home party tonight, you guys. And this is the situation. And would you prefer, if you were at a home party, to have this order form that is an order form and it has everything on it, but it might be a little bit hard to read, hard to find things? Or would you just prefer to have like a wish list sheet of paper where you can write down the things that you're trying and your shades and the things you want? And this served two purposes. One, I really actually needed the answer to that question. And 2, now I have my friends thinking like a presenter, because now they're thinking, ooh, what would I like? Oh, I would do it like this. And literally they went on a roll, man. I got so many suggestions from them on what I should do. They're like, oh, and you could do this, and this, and you could do this, and you could do this. And then by the end of the whole conversation, the girl that I want to join my team still hasn't joined my team, but she's like, man, I really should take up this side hustle. And I was like, yeah, you should. Yeah. And she was, it helped, one, with a recruiting factor, because now I'm not asking them to join my team. I'm asking them to help me solve a problem. I don't know what to do about this. What would you want? And now they're like, ooh, yeah, well, and then they see themselves doing it, right? That's a thing. So use that. No, but what came back is, they were like, so listen, they were like, the only thing about the order form is it probably has the prices on it. And they were like, and I would want to know the prices of things as I'm looking at them. They were like, it's the worst to try a bunch of stuff and then to find out, oh, I can't get it because I can't afford it. And they're like, so for me, it would be really helpful if I could see or know the prices as I'm trying things and as I'm looking at things. And then, one of them, she was like, I think managing expectations is huge. You want them to know what they're dealing with. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I've never thought to have the prices marked next to whatever. And so literally I took into, guys, I'm going to show you what I did. Nothing is fancy. I am not crafty. I am not cute. I have, mediocre handwriting. This does not have to be perfection. Nobody expects perfection, okay? So here is, my prices, guys. I literally just wrote in black marker, mediocre handwriting, the product and the price. That was it for everything I had laid out, right? So I did that. So I was like, oh, this is a good idea. So I lay out I make little price markers so that next to every product, people can see the price of the product. And then, this wasn't their idea, but because I was doing that, I thought to myself, what else could I do? Like managing expectations. And so then I was like, oh my God, the Cloud9 collection. And so something tricked and something flipped in my head, right? And so instead of having I had all the prices, and then I took the products that go in the Cloud9 collection. I took all those little products, the palette, the foundation, the blending buds, the mascara, the brow kit, the lipstick. I think that's everything that's in there. The concealer. I took all those things and I took a bag, okay? And I set them up together on the table. All right, so I have all the products, I have all the foundations and all the skincare and all the lips and all the eyes. And then I very specifically had sitting right there behind all of it, the Cloud9 collection. And I had a price tag for the Cloud9 collection. So everything has its own little price next to it, right? $29, $49, whatever. And then there's the Cloud9 collection that says $145, okay? Then next to that, I had this. Want to get more and save money? Ask me about our collections and sets. And then I put all the names of the collections down below it. Okay. So I have all the product. People can see all the individual prices of all the product. And then I have a collection and they can see the price of the collection. And so if you're just a thinking woman, you're going to see, okay, I could get a palette for $49 or I could get all of that for $145. Right? Or I could get this foundation for $39 and a palette for $49, or I could get a collection that has all of those things. So this was a big part of my setup, right? I also had on the table, a few other things. I'm just going to show you everything I had on the table. I also had on the table free shipping on orders over $100. I had that sitting right next to the collection. Okay, that's one other way I set it up. And then I also had book a party online or in home and receive a free mineral pigment. I also got a party out of this whole gig. So that was my general setup. So everybody comes in and they see the product. I don't start out talking about the makeup. We start out mingling, okay? We start out mingling and we're eating food and we're talking and waiting on people to arrive and everybody's kind of eating and drinking and I'm getting to know people and we're just interacting like I'm just another person that's there. And when everybody kind of is done eating, I'm like, okay, I was like, who wants to get makeup? And they were like, oh, and I said, okay, well, I'm not going to bore you guys, but I do have a little, quick spiel that I want to tell you about Unique, really super quick. And then, oh, yes, thank you. The free eye primer. So I had the eye primer set up. I'm sorry, this is an aside. Mindy said something about the eye primer. And so I actually had the eye primer set up and this was my price tag with the eye primer. It says Moodstruck Minerals eye primer free with purchases of $130 or more. And then I put $22 value and I had that sitting right in front of the collection. Okay. And so I'm going to talk about this and how I set it up because it's not just about laying it out correctly. It's also about how you talk about things with people. So I brought everybody over. Everybody kind of sat on the couch. I talked about Unique and the company and the founders a little bit and the mission and the foundation and all those sorts of things. And then at the end of that, I was like, hey, well, let's go look at some makeup. And so I walked them so the living room was here and it was in the dining room. We walked over to the dining room and everybody's kind of looking. And I said, just let me know if you have any kind of questions. And everybody's very hesitant to touch, right? But one of the things I told them when we were over on the couches is I had these paper plates that had dividers. And I said, so this is my very professional, sampling, whatever. So I'm going to ask, that you go around and I explained that some of this is my personal product. A lot of this is demo product, but I would ask that anything you want to sample, you put it on your plate. I said for things like lipsticks or eyeshadows, I have Q-tips. I have disposable things that you can sort of gather some up with and put it on your plate or put it on your arm or whatever. If you need help with anything, let me know. So I told them sort of how they were going to sample things so when you tell people how they're going to sample things, they're going to sample it more because now they feel like they can. If I just had things sitting there, people don't know what to do. Whenever my friend told me, she was like, it's all about managing expectations. That was like a light bulb, you guys. It is. It's managing expectations. So you tell people, that's okay. You can watch the replay. You tell people what they're going to do. Here's what you're going to do. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Unique. Then we're going to walk over to the table and hey, here's how you're going to sample the things on the table. Touch, feel, look at them. This is how I would really appreciate you doing this because some of this is my personal product. and we'll just sort of go from there. And they were like, yeah, okay, great. And so we walk over, and then one was like, one of the things I really want to know about is the mascara. Can you tell me about the mascara? And so this is how I do the mascara, you guys. I actually didn't go just one eye done. I did one eye, and which, by the way, guys, best set of the new mascara ever, like ever. They're working on it, man. They're working on it. I was floored. So what was I going to say? So I had the mascara done on one eye, and then on the other eye, I actually had a really popular mascara, like a really popular Sephora brand mascara, and it didn't even hold a candle. And so I was like, oh, the mascara. I said, well, let me just tell you. Look at my eyes. I was like, do you see? And they were like, whoa. And I was like, I was like, this one obviously is ours. I was like, this one is actually really popular. And I brought the mascara to the party, the other brand. And I held it up and I was like, this is the mascara. I was like, I put 3 coats on. And they were like, oh. And I was like, yeah, it's a pretty staunch difference. And I took the tubes out and I showed them what the gel looks like. I showed them what the fibers look like. I explained sort of the process. And then I was like, I can do a demo for you in a little bit if you want. And then there was more questions about the liquid foundation. I had all of my makeup done. There were questions about the liquid foundation. And so back up. Before that happened, we talked about the mascara. And then there was questions kind of about what was on the table. And so then I was like, okay, let me just tell you guys what we have here. This actually helped me. So one of the things I highly suggest when you're doing a home party is when people walk in, don't give a spiel about Unique. It doesn't have to be long. It can be like 5 minutes. Talk about what Unique is, the company, the mission. Talk about these things with people, okay? And then tell them, okay, now we're going to go look at and then explain your table to them. This, I almost didn't do this, but because what people were saying, I realized, oh shoot, I should tell them what is here, right? And so I went through and I explained, this is, these are our foundations. This is what's on. I explained everything that was on my table, and I got to the collection, and explaining my table allowed me to talk about the collection. Okay. This is Upsell Hotel, guys, we are salespeople. We don't want to make people feel spammed. We don't want to feel salesy, but fundamentally we are salespeople. So the way we word things, the way we talk about things matters. It matters when somebody walks up to our table. It matters what we tell people about it. It matters how we talk about the foundation and how we talk about, the BB cream and how we talk about the lipstick, and all the words we're using matter. Okay. And so I knew from some of the previous conversations, this is one of the reasons why you want to mingle with people first. I kind of knew that I was working with a frugal-minded set of gals, right? I knew they were kind of frugal-minded. And so I was like, so we have all these things, blah, blah. And I was like, I just want to point out over here, if you're looking to buy more than one thing, I said, if, for instance, I joked with one of the women who hadn't replaced any makeup for 2 years. I kid you not. I was like, if, for instance, you need to make over your entire makeup bag, I said, I highly recommend taking a look at our collections and sets. I say, this is where you're really going to get your best bang for buck. If you're buying more than one product, you really want to look at these. I said, for instance, right here, I have displayed for you actually our Cloud 9 collection. It's our most popular collection. It is literally a face in a bag. I explained what was in it. And I said, and you're getting a savings of about $58 by buying it in the collection as opposed to buying anything individually. I said, not only that, but this month, when you buy when you make any purchase over $130, I said, because I had already talked about the eye primer, I said, this is an exclusive new product. The only way you can get it this month is for free with any purchase over $130. And so I said, when you get one of these collections, I said, not only are you getting your best bang for your buck, but you're also going to get the eye primer for free and free shipping. I said, so your total savings is something like $80. I said, I don't know about you guys. I was like, but I'm that type of person that loves a deal. So I'm just going to say this is really your best bang for your buck if you want to get more. And then one of them was like, oh, that is a good deal. She's like, because she was like, no, I didn't say 145. I hadn't said the price yet. And she was like, well, how much over $100 are we talking? And I said 145. And she was like, oh, well, that's not bad considering, foundation is about $40 by itself. And I was like, right. I was like, and I was like, a palette is like $49 by itself. I said, so you're getting all of that. And they're like, and the mascara comes in it. And I was like, Yeah, and they were really interested in this collection, and it's only because I told them about it, you guys. There is no magic trick. I just told them that it was there. I told them that it was available to them, that this was the way to save money. That's it, okay? In my previous home party, I didn't tell anybody about collections, and it wasn't a bad party. Like, my previous home party was like way back earlier this year, it was in February. I just didn't say anything about it. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't want to be pushy. We're always afraid that if we tell somebody about it, it's going to be pushy. It's not pushy. They are there to hear about what you have to offer. This is what you have to offer. That's it. You can't think of it as being pushy. You have to think of it as, what do I have to offer people? What can I help people? You know what I can help people with? I can help people with saving money. It really does save you money to buy a Cloud9 collection. If you're going to buy a few things, you might as well buy a collection. You know what I'm saying? And so that's where it comes from. Every single guest except for one, and this wasn't, by the way, a huge party. There were only 5 guests there besides me and the hostess. This wasn't like a ginormous party. But when 4 of those guests purchased collections, that's a dang good party, right? And the other one purchased a lip gloss, and a couple of people purchased a couple extra things with their collection. So that set the tone. And then they were like, well, tell us about this foundation. I did a lead up, okay? So for your home party, if your home party doesn't have an event page with it, you need to be making sure there's an event page with it. So there's an event page for this home party. And so I've been posting videos, all those little videos, the lip stain video, the foundation video. I've been posting them in that party. Hey, here's a quick preview of some of the things you're going to get to see on Saturday night. And they've been watching them. And so when I was at that party, they were like, this foundation, we saw this foundation. I need to see this. My makeup was fully done. I said, you know what? I'm going to take off my makeup. I had my shine removing cloths there. So much selling happening, you guys, because look what they're seeing in action. They're seeing the shine makeup removing cloths. I purposefully went with my makeup done so that I would take off my makeup. I kid you not. And so I did. I took off makeup on half my face, an entire half of my face. I'm super broken out right now, hormonal acne. I purposefully did this side of my face so they would see the coverage of the acne, okay? And then I did it. I showed them. I said, okay, here's my powder puff brush. Here's my foundation. I did the drops, did the whole thing right before their eyes. They all wanted to touch the brush, okay? They all wanted to like really see, oh my gosh, is this for real? I showed them the concealer on my under eye and on the acne. So much good, guys. So much good. And I think it's because of a few things. I think it's because I did a lead up. I had an event page. I was sharing videos with the group. I was showing them, I was giving them previews of some of the things they would get to see and touch. So they came to the party knowing and having an idea about what they already wanted. Okay, because they've been able to see me demoing products all along. So they walk in and they already know, okay, I've seen some of these things in action and now I'm going to get to touch them and now I really want to see them. They heard me talk a little bit about Unique. I set up their expectations for what they were going to do and how they were going to test product. Okay, so when they came over to my table, they already knew that they could, 1, that they could touch it, and 2, what they needed to do to touch it. Okay. 3rd, I explained what was on my table. I showed them, hey, this is what we have here. This is what we have here. This is what we have here. I highlighted a collection. It could be any collection. It doesn't have to be the Cloud9. Whatever you have the products to go in, okay? Highlight that collection. I showed the prices of things so people could cost compare and also so they could see the value that comes with buying a collection. I highlighted our kudos and what a good deal that was. I highlighted free shipping right next to the collection that happens to be over $100. I talked them through everything, okay? And because I set up the beginning of the party like that, the rest of it just took on a life of its own. They wanted to know. They wanted to see me do things. And so then they all came without makeup on. They're like, we want you to put makeup on us. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I'm not like a professional makeup artist, but I can put makeup on you. I said, and I don't have all of, they all wanted the liquid foundation. And I was like, I don't actually have all the shades of liquid foundation. I only have my own personal shade, but I do have these BB creams and I do have powder foundation. And so we can still do your makeup. You can see what the BB cream is like. You can see what the powder is like and what that feels like on your face. I did their eye makeup. Everything but liner and mascara. I didn't do that, which I used palettes on all of them. They were all really into the palettes. I used my hands because I was like, I don't want to do my brush. So I actually used my hands. I said, I'm going to use my hands on you guys because I want to make sure that I'm not whatever. But For the powder, I did use my powder puff brush. I used my own brushes. I washed my brushes afterwards. That's what I do. You just wash them. Everybody there was healthy and good. I wasn't super worried about it. If it was a bunch of strangers, I would use a different set of brushes probably. But it wasn't really a bunch of strangers. So, so we did that. And I was so surprised. How do I wash mine? With warm water and gentle soap. Warm water and gentle soap. That's about it. No, don't be sorry about the sidetracks. It's good. And so then when it all came down to it, so they were keeping track and they were testing out the lipstick. They had little Q-tips. They were really good about using Q-tips and the things. Cetaphil would work well. Dawn works well. I literally just use like my hand soap. I probably should use a better one. I probably should use baby shampoo or Cetaphil or something. But I really am like, what soap do I have? Oh, this is what I have right here. Right. Cotton balls, Q-tips, sponge wedges, all that stuff. You can have all those things. Those are great things. I like that. They also have, at Sally's that I got, they have these specific, where's it at? I went to Sally's yesterday. Shoot. Oh, are you kidding me? You know what I had all night last night that I didn't realize I had? Oh, I hate myself right now. I had sponge wedges and like disposable applicators of things. And when I got there and I was setting up my display, I was like, shoot, I forgot all of those things at home because I forgot that I had tucked them inside my presenter kit box. And so I had to go without it. I had Q-tips is what I had. I had Q-tips. That was all I had. And then I was like, hey guys, this is how I want you to do this. I totally forgot all my disposable applicators, blah, blah, blah. And I had them the entire time. Right now, I'm kicking myself. So when you do go to set up your display, remember where you put stuff to travel there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. All in all, it was really good. Oh, and then right at the end when people were checking out, I said, okay, I'm ready to take your orders. I was like, how this is going to work is I'm going to sit right here. I'm going to enter your order for you on my computer, and then I'm going to hand it over to you. You can enter all your information and check out just like online shopping. It's going to ship directly to you. And then I was like, and let me know. I said, you'll notice I have a sign there. It says, if you book a party, you get a free mineral pigment. I said, if that's something you want to take advantage of, let me know because that's going to affect how I enter things in your cart. I was going to put a mineral pigment in their cart and use Ycash, to cover the cost of the mineral pigment. Ycash is golden, you guys. And so I'm sitting there and then there was a girl, she was like, you know what? She was like, she was like, I have a couple of friends that I think would just really love this. They would love this. But she didn't want a mineral pigment. She was like, yeah, I'm not really interested in the mineral pigment. She was like, but I want to get with you on a party because I think I have friends that could do this. It's all about, you just have to tell people what's out there. You have to tell them what's out there. You have to talk with them. And so, if I didn't have the product I have, what would I do? This is actually an important thing to talk about because it takes time to build up that kind of table, right? It takes time to build up that amount of product. If I didn't have that much product, whatever product that I had, I would have out and available for people to look at. For highlighting a collection, I would have the catalog open to the collection page and I would have a sign right next to it that says the same thing. You want more, want to get more and save money, ask me about collections. When I talk about the table, I would say, I don't have one out right now on display for you, but I really just want to point out for you, if you're interested in getting more than one item, I highly recommend our collections. And I would point that out in the catalog. And I maybe even would pick up the catalog and talk through what's inside a collection. No, they can't see it and touch it, but you can still highlight it and bring it to their attention. If I was doing this during an online party, great idea. I'm going to point, thank you. Never bring cash and carry. Do what you can to boost your PRS. I had no cash and carry on me. There's a couple reasons for that. One, I want my hostess to earn rewards. She does not earn rewards with cash and carry. And so I'm not there to sell my cash and carry. I'm there to get sales in her party. So I do everything online, through the website. But, yeah, if I didn't have all the products of a collection, I would still highlight the collection in an online party because, again, remember guys, I have a little event page for this. And so I'm actually going to make a video breaking down the Cloud9 collection. Hey guys, for those of you who weren't at the party, I just wanted to go ahead and highlight some things for you. If you're interested in getting more than one thing, I just want to highlight some of the savings you can get when you order a collection. For instance, our Cloud9 collection, it is our most popular collection. It is where you're going to get your most bang for your buck. This is what comes inside it. I'm going to tell you the individual prices, and then I'm going to tell you, what the collection actually costs and how you're saving your money. I'm going to make that video. I'm going to post it in my online party, you guys, because this is how we sell collections. We sell collections by sharing the value with people, by sharing the savings with people. A lot of times people want to buy more than one thing. When you point out that collection, it puts that bug in their ear. They might not be thinking about it. They might not be looking for it. So you have to direct their attention to it. What else would I do if I didn't have that much product? I would try to have at least one of each thing. Like I said, if you're going to do home parties, it's a really good idea to build up your stock. So if you can only have like one of each type of foundation, and you can just say, and then you're not doing makeup on everybody because you don't have all the foundation shades, but you can help them sample. Oh, here's give me your arm, and we're going to sample some things on your arm, or sample some things on the side of your face. This is one particular shade. Just, I want you to feel what it feels like, and what it looks like. This is not your shade, obviously. I would recommend this shade for you. But so you can get an appreciation for what the coverage is like, what the feel of it is like, and let them sample the things, let them touch the things, let them sample the palettes. You could do their eye makeup. Everybody gets a palette. If you were a presenter that just recently joined, you probably have the least amount of stock right now, but you do have an eyeshadow palette. Okay. You do have a lipstick that they can take a Q-tip or take a disposable lip thing and they can play with. You have all those things. It's not about what you have. It's about how you talk about what you have, okay? That is the single best message I could tell you, because I think sometimes people might look and see a full table like I had and be like, oh, well, I don't have all that, so I can't have a successful home party. No, it is not about... Still on Periscope? My dad just called me in the middle of my Periscope. Sorry, guys. Sorry. It's not about what you have. It's about how you talk about what you have, okay? I don't care if you only have your presenter kit. If you only have your presenter kit, you set out your entire presenter kit. You talk about it. You talk it up. You put it on people's hands. You put it on their arm. You maybe demo their eye makeup. You get in there and talk about it. You lay out the catalog, okay? And to a collection. You highlight that collection. You don't have to have a ton of product to talk about the product, okay? Remember that. You can do a home party with just a presenter kit. You just have to be willing to talk about it and put on your best face and sell the heck out of it. And how do you sell the heck out of it? You're sharing it. You're showing it. You're like, oh, here's the whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think that's what I have to say about that. They're really great. They're money makers, you guys, especially if you can get in there and talk and interact and really let people see and really talk about the value and let them know what's available to them. I mean, and highlighting a collection. If you are interested in building up your stock, I would start out, okay, this is how I would start out building up a collection of unique products to have for home parties. I would start out by buying yourself a collection. Buy yourself a collection, okay? Then you have your presenter kit and you have a collection. And so then when you set up your table, you can sort of set it up and you can actually even highlight the presenter kit, right? You can say, this is everything that comes in a presenter kit when you join. You basically get blah, 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 right? Yes, good. That's why I did this today, because I was like, there are people who have home parties today. I want to make sure that I get this out there, that I can tell you about it. So yeah, if you're building up your stock, buy a collection, okay? And then you can highlight a collection, right? I highly recommend buying the Cloud9 collection, because then you've got a foundation, you've got a concealer, you've got all these things that you can show and you can highlight. So if you're just starting out and you're just wanting to build up stock, Cloud9 collection. And if you hit fast start, that's well under $250 in white cash. So you're good. Awesome. Yay. I'm so glad it was helpful. I know it's kind of all over the place. I know it's long. I really probably need to make a video breaking it down, step by step by step. But I hope there's some seriously helpful things. Good luck at your home parties. Vendor events too. I'm like, I have all this stuff and I'm like, I need to go and be in person now. I love the internet. I make all my friends on the internet, but being in person, people really like it. People like that. So I highly recommend it. Okay, I'm going to go. I'm going to let you guys go because I've talked your face off enough. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on Sunday morning. I know it's kind of a random odd day to be doing this, but, I had to get out there. You guys got home parties. I can post closer up pictures of what my signs say. They're so not pretty. They're so like just the very rudimentary. But it's all good because it got the job done. I don't have to have like super cutesy things. You know what I have? I have makeup and I have myself, and I can talk and I can share the makeup. So that's all you need. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm at the side tangent for a second. You find me saying this. You might have heard me say this before. It doesn't have to be perfect. We don't have to package everything up in a pretty package. We just have to get out there and be enthusiastic and really be into what we're doing, even if we're faking it. Guys, I was nervous as crap. I did not know 5 of the women there. They're all older than me. They all are more experienced than me. They all have every reason to discredit me for just being, young, whatever, which, I'm like, oh, yay, I'm young. But they have every reason to discredit me. And I don't have cutesy handwriting. I didn't have cutesy signs. I didn't have a super cutesy, gorgeous display. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be packaged pretty. You can sell a heck of a lot of makeup with enthusiasm and positivity and listening to them. Okay, I listened to them, which is what guided what I talked about. I talked about the money saving. I talked about the foundations and concealers and things that I knew they were interested in. We talked about brows. We talked about how to do all these things. I simply listened to everything they said and told them what they wanted to hear. That is it. That is it. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to show up and you have to do it. What if I had turned this down because I was like, oh, I don't really have a great display. I don't have pretty signs. I don't really want to make pretty signs. I don't really want to do. No, you don't have to do that. You just have to be there and just be able to talk about it. And you have to be confident, even if you're faking that confidence. Okay. I think we shrink back in fear. I think with these things, we're like, oh, but I don't know that I'm the expert. I don't know that I'm a product expert. I don't know enough. Well, fake it till you make it. Learn what you can. Pay attention to what other people are doing. Listen to how other people talk about the products. Take that on, okay? And use that confidence. Build that confidence even when you're faking it in the beginning. Yes, that's going to be awesome. One-on-one is the way to go. There's something else I was going to say. Oh, the demoing of the mascara. I had somebody ask me about the mascara with my contacts. So right at the very end, so I talked about the mascara in the beginning, and then I demoed the mascara at the end. I have to demo the mascara. I demoed the mascara at the end. And so I took my, not unique mascara off, took it off, and I showed them, and I actually specifically explained, because she was asking about getting fibers in your eyes. And I was like, I'm going to tell you, it can happen, but it's user error when it's happening. Here are the things to do to prevent fibers from getting in your eyes. And so I talked through putting on the mascara from the lens of what not to do. I didn't get nervous about color matching there because I had the product with me, and so I could test it on their face. Another reason that if you're going to be doing things in person with people, have product with you that you can test. This is a reason to build up. Again, it's not necessary, but it's ideal. If I hadn't have had it, I would have started with what I know. Okay, this is what organza looks on you. This organza is my shade of things. Okay, so that's what I use for me. And so I showed okay, this is what. So I would start with what you have. You have velour and chiffon, and so be like, okay, these are the ones I use, and we're either going to go down or we're going to go up, and then you can kind of look from there. And you have a shade stick. The shade stick is a little bit inaccurate, but don't hold it to your wrist. I find if I hold it to the side of the face, it's not going to perfectly match their skin. None of those shades are going to perfectly match their skin, okay? Because it's a plastic thing that you're holding up to skin. It's not going to work. But I watch, I pick, kind of where I try to pick up the tones in between them, okay? So you have that too that you can use. Be confident. You're going to do it. She might not actually have samples though. She's been a presenter for a while, so it doesn't come in her presenter kit. So she may not actually have samples. She's talking about color matching like today or tomorrow. So yeah, so eventually you can use samplers, but for now you just use what you have. Start with what you have. All right. Are you darker or are you lighter? Is this completely like getting lost on your skin? Do we need to go a little darker? Yeah. So do you need to go a little darker? Do you need to go a little lighter? Use your shade stick. You can do this, Kinsey. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You got this. All right, for real, I'm going to go because this is super long, but thank you guys. Good luck with everything. Y'all are going to do awesome. I probably maybe one day should make a more concise video talking about what I did. And I'm doing more of these. I'm absolutely doing more of these. It was the best time ever. It's super great to talk up and highlight collections. I can't say that enough. All right, I'm going to go. Bye.